I am Vinnie Tortorich, folks. Your good intentions have been stolen, but don't worry. I'm here to help you get them back. You may be soft and succulent at the beginning of this process, but hang in there. Before long, you will be lean and mean, guaranteed, just like the woman on the other mic. I'm talking about the beautiful Miss Gina Grad. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, please. Please. Thank you so much. Really, that's unnecessary.
I will be listening to a lot. Now that I've played it, I will be listening to a lot of Sly and the Family Stone tonight.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
While you're cooking your bachelor dinner, is that still happening?
No, Serena, Serena's here, so
Oh,
hopefully
good.
there will be food whenever I'm done here.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. Well, speaking of food, you gave our listeners a little appetizer last week, and
Mm,
I thought we'd hit them with the main course. I don't know. Did that
okay.
work? Amuse
Uh,
bouche?
yeah, that's better.
Okay, thanks.
Um,
A
okay.
couple of things. I had a couple of assignments from you.
Okay. One of the assignments was the ADA, right? Oh no, and what was going on there, and
Yeah, we talked about the American Heart Association and how some of the biggest donors are PepsiCo, McDonald's, the soybean board, Kellogg, and who am I missing? One other one, Mars Wrigley.
do you
And
know?
you,
Wait, hang on. Do you
yeah,
know what soybean and Agent Orange has in common?
no,
Hmm. You
what?
won't find this on the internet. You would have to. This is a. You got to go way back. You gotta go way back. Do you know what
Okay.
Agent Orange is? You
Isn't
ever
it
hear
like
of Agent
a
Orange?
weapon of war, like a gas?
It was kind of a weapon of war. It was a,
Like a noxious gas, right?
no, 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 it
Oh,
was a glyphosate. It was a glyphosate. You see, they couldn't see the gook. That's what we called them. We had to
oh boy,
dehumanize. We had to dehumanize the Vietnamese,
sure.
so we called them gooks,
Oh,
right? Folks, I'm saying this because this is a history lesson.
right.
That's how we dehumanize so we could kill other people.
We do that in every war. Germans,
Yeah.
everyone.
Most people don't know how Vietnam got started, but you know how it got started?
Tell me.
You know who's to blame? If you really, really, really go back really far.
I can't wait to hear this.
Well, if you ask someone on the left, they would tell you Trump, but I don't know if Trump was even born yet. Uh, the French got their hands in there and stirred the pot and caused a mess. And just like the French, they,
They
shit.
bounced.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, we're out of here. You know, and then,
Yeah, I think a comic had a joke about that saying, "And, when we went to war, the French said, 'We're right behind you,' and that's exactly where they stayed, right behind us."
the French go in and cause a problem, but hey, go to France, put a lock on the bridge thing there, and fall in love. Go look at the Eiffel Tower. Yeah. Um, so at any
Oy.
rate, um, we couldn't see these guys because they were under the heavy brush, right? There were tunnels and this and that. You couldn't see them. So we would spray this glyphosate over the whole thing.
Okay.
Mm. And that would, you know, cause, all the trees to die. Now you could see them, right?
Oh,
You can, I guess, blow them up or whatever you want to do.
so it was to kill the flora and fauna and not to
Right.
necessarily kill the
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. We had to kill something else before we killed a human. Can you look it up and see
Yeah.
that Agent Orange? I just want to make sure I'm not speaking out of turn, but
You
Agent
don't generally
Orange
do that.
was and by the way, folks, I do these shows. All this stuff is in my head. I don't go Google this stuff. I'm not like the rest of the world. Google is in my head. Anything I've
And
read in my life is still there.
this is from the VA News.
Hmm.
The point of it was to remove the leaves of trees and other dense tropical foliage that provided enemy cover. Wow, Vinny.
Yeah, how close was I?
100%.
Hmm. Do you know which company did that?
No idea.
Mm,
Dow.
mm. Eh, mm, in the ballpark.
That's my only guess.
Who makes glyphosates nowadays?
I have no idea.
Look up weed killers. I'm
Okay.
gonna take it. I want you to learn, Gina. This is learning. This is how you learn.
Okay.
Okay.
I like learning.
Mm.
Okay. Monsanto.
Monsanto. Monsanto. Now, do you know what else Monsanto owns?
Frankenfood companies?
90% of all the soybeans sold around the world today.
What?
So I'll go back. What does what does Agent Orange and soybeans have in common? Yeah,
Monsanto!
same company trying to kill the folks in Vietnam is trying to kill you. Now, I don't see Hanoi Jane on a tank fucking yelling at Monsanto today. Maybe she should get
Wow.
her 88-year-old ass up on the tank and start yelling at Monsanto, but she's not going to do that. All right.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think companies like that should own food companies. But what do I know?
You know, there you have it. I
Not
mean,
much.
yeah. You know,
Wow.
Sabrina, aren't you a little impressed that all this sits in my stupid head?
I'm more than a little impressed because if I'm being blatantly honest with you, you have a lot of what many would consider useless knowledge.
Yeah,
And the
little
fact that
known,
you have
even
this
less
use
cared for facts.
and the fact that you have this useful knowledge that has a 0% margin of error is very impressive.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have one of those, what do they call photographic memories.
Sounds like it.
If I read it, it's in my head and I can't get rid of it. I wish I could. Remember when Homer Simpson had to have something leave his head because his head was already full for something
Yeah.
else to come in? I keep waiting for that day to happen. Gleefully, I keep waiting for that day to happen. But my stupid head, as my mom is like, yeah, I think if my mom had taken the Mensa test, she would have been
Oh,
a
she'd be much smarter
um,
than me, I'm sure.
I mean, she has 3 master's
Yeah.
degrees plus 30 hours towards doctorates in all 3 of those.
Oy
She's
vey's,
just an
man.
amazing woman. Um, and my mom will tell you, don't ever have an argument with Vinnie. He will recall things that he learned when he was 4, and he will bring it out as if he heard it that day.
God, I
Right.
hope you don't fight with Serena like that.
Oh, she hates it.
Oh,
She says it's unfair.
it is unfair.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to argue with a guy that can't forget
Doesn't
shit.
forget anything.
Yeah. It sucks to be me, Gina. It really is not. By
Oh,
the way,
it's
this is not a virtue. It's a
no,
vice.
it's lonely at the top is what it sounds
Oh
like.
God, it's
Heavy is the
horrible
head
being
that
me.
wears the crown.
It's horrible being me. I'm saying it's really bad being me, but yeah, I tell people this about Monsanto and they're going, what? Yeah, they own all the soybeans, right? So, you know, why do you think they tell you eat more soy products? Have your soy milk.
Oy
Have
vey's.
your soy, have your soy, have your soy. Make hamburgers out of soybeans. Make everything out of soybeans. Make tofu and do all this stuff. All soybeans,
But
right?
we've talked about how that can be a major hormone disruptor.
It causes all kinds of problems, right?
Yeah.
So you see, it's not going to go away, especially when they're controlling places like the ADA, right?
The American diabetes,
Monsanto,
yeah.
Monsanto's got their greedy little hands in the ADA. How about that? The
Boy.
same people that make glyphosates. Sounds good? We're all
No,
good here? We're ready to
no.
rock and roll?
I'm angry and I'm kinda scared to go to the grocery store.
Yeah, you should be. Folks, that's why I tell you, don't walk up and down the aisles. Don't support these companies. Don't put it in your body. Like I tell everyone, if it ends up in your toilet, it went through your body, just throw it in the trash. Skip
Yeah,
the toilet, just throw it in the trash. Skip,
eliminate the
skip the
middleman.
part where it goes through your body.
We went to the farmer's market over the weekend and got, a bunch of stuff, and my stepson, rightly so, said, "Well, why are we getting this here? We can get it at the grocery store." I said, "Well, it's better to get it here." Um, and do we do that all the time? No. And now I'm worried.
Yeah. You got to be careful. You got to be
Oh,
careful out there, folks. That's what this show is about. I'm here. I don't make money by doing this show, right? Gina
yeah,
does.
who's sponsoring you,
Okay,
Big
Gina.
Cow?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, someone asked me that on Instagram. Yeah, I started Instagramming the other day a little bit again. A woman goes, who's sponsoring you? Big Meat? And it's like, I wish Big Meat, by the way, perfect porn name. I wish they would show up and hand me a check. Give me
Yeah.
$1, Big Meat. They're not. I don't get anything from anybody.
It would
I
be
was
great. I mean, your philosophies would be aligned. Come on, Big Meat, get involved.
come on. I'll help you out, Big Meat. I'll say shit on your behalf. I'll tell people eat some cow tongue,
Yeah,
something. Yeah, who knows? But
that's
that's not my deal. I'm not
that's
going to sit here and
yeah.
lie.
And again, they haven't offered. So if we're staying super honest here, no, it's not Big Meat, whoever that is, has not come knocking on your door,
No.
and you have not accepted any money from Big Meat.
What else did we look up the other day? We looked up.
So you hit me with this bizarre fun fact that I didn't totally believe, but now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like I've seen it many times. That flight attendants sit with their hands under them, under their legs when they're sitting in their jump seats,
Mhm.
and that's not something I ever would have thought about, and I assumed you were misinformed. I did Google it and found this travel and leisure article who from a woman who is the director of in-flight services with a private jet company, and she says sitting like that is a safety position. The reason for this safety position is if an emergency were to occur on takeoff or landing, their head, hands, and arms are already in a slight brace position. So it's part of the safety protocol, and of course you knew this. Random.
I just look around, Gina.
You do. You're a
People go through
noticer.
people go through life. People go through life and they don't look around. They don't.
No,
Um, you know, look, I know there's a new Roadhouse out there with Jake Gyllenhaal.
that's right.
I've already seen it. Thank you very much.
You have?
Yeah, it's on
Oh.
how you say the Amazon.
Oh, I can't wait to hear
Yeah, I
about
went to the
this.
and it's free. It was on Amazon for free, and I watched the Jake Gyllenhaal on the thing. Completely different from the original one, but
Okay.
badass in and of itself.
'Kay.
But look, when I was in college, I was a cooler. I was one of those guys. I worked in the bars. I
Be
was, I,
polite.
yeah, I was polite until I didn't have to be polite. I had a lot of guns pulled on me, this kind of thing. Yeah,
What?
yeah. Um, but one night we were in. I've never told this story on the podcast, so folks,
Right.
this story is the first time on this podcast. I had a client. It was the woman who saved my life, who figured out I had cancer. She had a house up in Big Sky, Montana.
Mm,
You know where the hoity-toity go. They live
sure.
up in a place called Bill Gates was there.
Like Jackson Hole?
No, 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 no. It was called the something club, the Yellowstone Club.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
this is like in Big Sky, but it's like exclusive. And money does not get you in. Like if you're a celebrity and they don't like your ilk, you can have all the money in the world, you're not getting in.
Wow.
It's the Bill Gateses of the world, and of
Got
course
it.
my client was in there and the whole thing. And she had me, and she had her niece that was there that week, and her son. And we went out one night. I said, "Come on, let's go out. Let's go down the hill. Let's go into town." So there was this honky tonk I used to pass because I used to go there in the summertime to train on my bike, and I would ride through Yellowstone Park, which is a very treacherous place to ride. I mean, you would see like a deer carcass on the way out on a 50-mile ride. You're riding 50 in one direction, I ride 50 back. By the time I came back, that deer carcass was already picked through down to the bone.
Whew.
I mean, it's a rough environment out there, right? But there was a honky tonk. There was kind of a roadhouse out there, and I said to her niece, I said, "Hey, let's go over there tonight. Let's just go hanging out. Let's go see." So we go, and I have her son and her niece, and we're out there, and it's pretty early, and we're there for a while, about an hour and a half past, maybe it's 10:30, 11 o'clock. I said, "Let's go." And the niece doesn't want to go because she met herself a cowboy.
Oh, no.
Nothing like when a Jewish girl meets a cowboy. She was all in.
Uh,
And I said, "We're leaving now. We're leaving now." And she was angry with me. I pulled her. I said, "We're going. Sorry, dude. We're leaving." Grabbed her, grabbed the son. We got out of there. We get in the car. She's going, "What did you do? Why did you do that? It's still early. Why are we going home?" I said, "Because shit's about to go down." And she was like, "What are you talking about? People are dancing, boot scoot boogie, and this and that."
Yeah.
I said, "No, no, shit's getting ready to go down in there. There's going to be a problem,
What?
and I can't, I can't protect you guys. We can't be in there." Sure enough, the next day there was a knife fight and a gun broke out. No one got killed, but a couple of people went to the hospital. It happened about 10 minutes after we left.
Are you serious?
Yeah. But when you're in those situations and you see what's going on and you read the room and you see what's going on, you figure out, oh, it's coming.
That just gave me goosebumps.
It's a sixth sense. I can do it every single time. I can do it every single time. It screws people up when I
And
do
it
it.
wasn't and you weren't seeing, like, 2 guys getting into an argument or anything?
Mm-mm.
Like s Oh my
There
god.
was some guys by the pool table looking back at these other guys. Shit was getting ready to go down.
But nothing had happened. It's not like someone threw a punch and you were like, "Let's go."
There was no, "Hey, pal, hey, you want some of this?" None of that. It was none of that. It's like, we got to
Oh.
leave now. Sometime in the next half an hour, this place is going to get weird. Yeah,
I have goosebumps.
yeah.
That's insane. You know, I could see you being a good, Sixth Sense kinda guy. I get
When it
that.
comes to reading those kind of crowds, I did it. The hackles go up on the back of your neck. You know
Yeah,
it's happening.
yeah.
It's like, oh boy, it's coming. Because when you do that for 4 years in college and that's your job, you know when it's coming.
That's
You see it, you feel it.
and a pattern is established whether you're conscious of it or not. You part of you
Yeah,
knows. And they say that, that humans are the only animals that ignore their instincts,
yeah,
that ignore the hair standing on the back of their neck. You know who else is really good at it? Kids of unpredictable parents. We
yeah,
also are very good at knowing when shit's about to pop off when it doesn't look like it to anyone else.
yeah, yeah. You get the feeling.
Yeah, you just and everybody else is like, "What are you talking about?" And here you are sitting like a flight attendant bracing for impact.
So I notice everything. I
Wow.
just notice everything, and I've always noticed they sit on their hands.
You
It's like, why? What do they know that I don't know?
if you were to ask me, I would say, "I don't know, it's pretty cold in planes. Maybe they're warming up their hands." No, it's to brace for they want everything sort of it's to brace for an emergency, and if you're
Right.
sitting upright with your hands like that, you're kinda not this is my words, not theirs, almost in an attack position, almost like you're just ready to jump up, you're ready to do whatever, and Vinny noticed.
Yeah.
I'm getting on a
Right.
plane in 3 days, I can't wait to look and see if they're doing that.
See which ones are sitting on their hands, but, when you see it happening once that, you might go, "Oh, she's got bad circulation." You see it
Right.
happen twice, it's like, "Wow, I found the f only 2 people in the world with bad." But when you see it over and over and over again, you go, "Wait, they're doing something. What
Wow.
are they doing that I'm not doing?"
Never, ever noticed. And let's just continue to heap praise on you and your big brain because we talked for, this show, last show about companies that support the American Heart Association. We dabbled in the American Diabetes Association. And I found quickly, this is an article from 2017. And so I can't say whether or not this is current information. But
Alright.
in this article from Medical Economics, it says companies like Dannon, maker of Dannon yogurt, and Kraft, makers of Velveeta, Oscar Mayer wieners, Lunchables, and so forth, are corporate sponsors of the American Diabetes Association.
Okay. I mean, Kraft makes something. I know they make Kraft macaroni and
Uh,
cheese,
they're synonymous.
right? And I'm sure that's not the only they make the Velveeta, we know that,
Yep.
right?
Oh yeah.
2
All the
foods
highly
pretty certain I've
processed stuff.
eaten. The
Yeah.
when someone told me that the cheese and macaroni and cheese was a powder that you had to reconstitute,
Yeah.
I thought they were kidding.
Oh, stop.
I thought that they gave you the macaroni and somehow you just melted some cheese on it, maybe made a cheese sauce. I
From
don't
a
know.
man who's as smart as Vinny is, it's like out of the mouths of babes. He doesn't understand. He's never seen with his own eyes the powdery cheese packet that
I've
we've
never
all
had
seen and grown
Kraft
up with.
macaroni and cheese. I I, um, I'll never forget the first time when I was completely broke in college. It's why I ended up becoming a bouncer and a car salesman on the weekends, and, I got out of the situation pretty quickly. The first time I ate ramen noodles because someone
Oh,
said,
yeah.
"No, look, it's like 25 cents, and if you get 5 if you get 4, you get a 5th one for free."
Yeah.
I go
Can't
home
beat
and
that
it's
deal.
like you just put it in water and it expands.
Yeah.
And I ate that and it's like, "Oh, you put this powder on it. You just sprinkle the
Mhm.
powder." I ate that and I went, "Okay, I will never be so broke to where I can't at least afford some vermicelli where I can throw some cheese on top and just do that myself."
Some MSG and sodium and just kinda make your own, situation.
I could not believe how bad that shit was.
Yeah.
It was
And
bad.
And that's what is in vending machines at schools and in offices because it's cheap and it's fast, and it makes your brain light up in all the right places. I hadn't really had it until I was an adult because that wasn't our thing either, but, it's hot and it tastes good and it's 10 cents.
Yeah, I never even heard of it until I was in a grocery store looking for cheap stuff to fill my gut,
Oh,
and
you'll find it there.
a buddy of mine was like, "Yeah, get bunch of these." Jesus Christ, that happened
Mhm.
only once,
Yeah.
you know?
That's a mistake Vinny doesn't make twice.
No, I mean, when you're used to eating real food and you taste that and you go, nah, that's not gonna happen."
Well, and that's sort of the difference between, a child's palate and an adult's palate is that, we all think it's yummy, and then I tasted it as an adult and I was like, "What was I thinking?" And,
Yeah.
oh, speaking of that, I gotta tell you this really quickly. Have you heard of something called ARFID?
Mm-mm.
It's now categorized as an eating disorder, but it's a what does it stand for? Avoidant resistant food intake disorder. Basically, we call it extreme picky eaters. I'd never heard of it, but I found this on Instagram, and my 8-year-old stepson and I have become obsessed with this girl who's also 8 years old, and she tastes all these food and gives it a rating, and, I could be getting this wrong, but for her, it's like an OCD, like, her brain has a little bit of a miswiring and says she's in danger if she eats this product, or she's in danger if she
Right.
tries this food. It's a wiring, it sounds like. I don't know. But, so if you're like, "Ah, she's just a picky eater," like, no, she starts gagging and her brain says, "No, no, 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 no." So, we're really obsessed with watching her try foods, and I show my stepson, "Look how brave she is. She's trying this, she takes 3 bites whether she's gagging or not, she's in therapy for it, blah, 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 blah." And it was all really kinda interesting, and he's a good eater, Kinahora, as my people say, but he also can be, picky kid. So
Yeah.
this was kinda to show him, like, "Look how brave she is." Well, we got to one of her videos, and I should send it to you. She says, "Here are my problems with having ARFID," because the only foods on her safe food list are, like, Pringles and Teddy Grahams and
Oof.
horrible. It's the only stuff she'll eat. And she said, "I have no energy, I nap all day, I can't participate in PE, I'm always sick, I'm always getting sick, I'm always cold." And my heart broke for this girl, and I looked at my stepson, I said, "This is why we eat good food. This is why we don't fill up on junk food. Look, she's telling you with her own mouth, 'I can't participate in recess and PE, I'm always sick, and I nap all day.'" And she has little, dark circles, and she's like, "I'm trying, and I think I like strawberries now, and I think I like carrots now," but it was such an eye opener, especially to show a kid, this is what happens when you don't eat the stuff that your body needs.
Well, I think whatever parent that is should take them the fuck off of social media and get them help.
Well, she is
I'm
in
sorry.
therapy. This is part of
Well, yeah,
I don't know if
I
this
don't
is
know
part of her
if
therapy.
this is part of their therapy, then go for it, but,
Yeah, I
I
don't know.
mean, get
Like
this
the
this kid needs help. I
Yeah,
mean,
and
I
she
I
says,
thought
"This is what I learned in therapy today," and blah, 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 and that's great. But this is why you're lucky if you're not that way.
I saw 2020 the other night of the social media woman. She was
I know
a
where this is
social
going.
media mommy from Utah, so she was Mormon. Do you
Ruby
know
Franke.
her?
I know
Ruby
the whole
Franke, that's
story.
her. Gina,
Sick
have
monster.
you seen the 2020
I did.
version? I wanted to go I wanted to get in my car, drive straight to Utah and strangle this woman. And then I wanted to take this woman and strangle the other woman by wrapping this woman's legs around her after she was strangled.
Jody
These are
Hildebrandt.
two of the biggest monsters on the planet.
Yes.
And this woman was coming off as a better than thou mommy blogger,
Momfluencer.
momfluencer. This woman, I mean, at the beginning of the 2020, I'm watching the cops are breaking down like big men crying. Just,
Yes.
I need a minute. I need a minute. It's like, what are they going to show us? Are these guys making this up? I got so enraged at what this woman did to these kids. What these two women did to these kids.
Yep.
And from what I could tell, getting off scot-free, they're getting both a few years in jail with probation and this and that. I'm like, a few years in jail. These women should be locked up lifetime.
Honestly,
having this.
I'm no criminologist or lawyer. I thought they should be charged with attempted murder for both the kids.
At the very least,
yeah.
If that kid hadn't escaped, if the 12-year-old hadn't escaped, they were going to die.
Yep.
Both of these kids. And when I watched that part where the cop is just sitting in the room with the little girl like a frightened animal, and he just sat there and kept talking to her, I got to tell you, I got weepy. I was like, I was like, Jesus Christ, what have they done to these kids? How do you rehab these kids? How do you fucking rehab these kids? These kids are fucked for, I mean, they're going to be, and I'm looking at that going, how can they just give these women like 4 years with, parole and this and that? They should be locked. They should be hung by their toes, these women.
Yeah.
We should waterboard. I don't know if waterboarding, I don't know, maybe that's a bad thing. We should waterboard both of these women.
Well, and it's like you look and you say, are they a danger to society? Yes, they're a danger to society.
Yeah, they are.
Oh,
and by
it was
the way,
horrible.
she bamboozled her husband too. He didn't know. I mean, they had him thinking he was a horrible person.
Yep.
And
she thinks I should move out of the house and not contact the kids or her, and I'm the one with the problem. It's like they were under the spell of a cult leader.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Scary.
Unbelievable. Go, folks. If I don't know, I watched 2020 like on the Hulu or something. I don't know where you guys find it.
Yeah,
but,
same.
Go find that episode. Lily Franke, what's her name?
Ruby Franke. She had a very popular YouTube channel called 8 Passengers. She has 6 kids, and 2 of them were so neglected and abused they almost died.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a horrible, horrible story. Gina, did we cover everything we were going to cover in this episode?
Oh, yeah. And there'll be even more for next week. Yes, we did. Should we give a little shout outs?
Yeah.
All right.
Shout yourself out, Gina.
Well, if you want to focus on positive family dynamics, which I'm sure everyone listening does, go ahead and check out a couple of things. My Instagram @myextrafamily, all about parenting and step parenting, lots of tips, lots of questions for you that maybe you can help me with. I would love for you to join me over there. And My Extra Mom, my step parenting book for kids about welcoming a new member of the family and making the transition easier. The extra parent making the transition easier. My Extra Mom, just go to VinnieTortorich.com, click on that Amazon banner and get it right there. And it's a couple bucks off right now, so this is a good time to do it. And the Bryan and Gina Show, the official podcast of LA Magazine.
Yeah, when you click through that banner, you're putting a little coal in the fire, you're getting the train down the track. Rate and review this podcast on behalf of Gina Grad. Put life into living and do it with just a little bit more of Sly and the Family Stone.